Great.
So it's saying prepare the live stream, setting up for Facebook Live, and we are live. All right.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, 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 Facebook family. This is Dr. Tanya. I am the proud owner and host of the Mucho Dinero TV show. And on this show, we educate, we empower, and we promote, and we do all of this intentionally. I'm so excited because I have a special guest celebrity. You're a celebrity to me, Miss Tymeka
Thank you.
Coney,
Yes,
and
thank
you
you.
have earned that title. I did my homework, and there's so many accolades that I could share today. So I'm honored to have you on the platform today. Um, so please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Tanya Blackman. I am honored to be here on the Mucho Dinero. I just love the title, first off. Mucho Dinero podcast, and Mucho Dinero means much money, lots of money. So I'm excited about that. I am an entertainment entrepreneur. So Mucho Dinero speaks to me, my heart, my spirit, my mind, because, an entrepreneur is really about having several streams of income. And so that's what I'm excited about. And I just want to make sure that my power doesn't go off.
Okay.
But yes, so several streams of income, of which I do. I am a playwright. I am an author of, these are my babies here, 3 children's books, 1 poetry book. I'm also a producer. I produce TV and film. I create content. I have some reality stuff that I've been pitching around. I have some screenplays that we're still in the process of raising $1 million budgets, mucho dinero.
Yes.
Um, and while I'm waiting on those bigger projects, I say, if you build it, they will come. So I'm always in the process of pitching those, getting other celebrities attached. But in the meantime, I stay busy. I'm like, what can I create and produce at my level, with the thousands heirs, not the millionaires, And so we do a lot of independent projects. That's kind of how I got started. So yeah, did I leave out anything? Poet, spoken word artist. I have a spoken word CD on Spotify, Amazon Music, all the streaming platforms, as well as my books are on all of the digital platforms. And this is just funny because I go by Meek, and it's like the meek shall inherit the earth, but the meek is kind of like power under control. So
Yes.
talk about myself a lot. But today, for the interview, I'm so happy to share the gifts that God has blessed me with. And I'm so happy to be with another sister who is also an entertainment and, entrepreneur.
Thank
I feel
you.
like at home already. So I feel comfortable talking and sharing.
Thank
So,
you so much.
thank
That means the world to me. That
you. Yeah.
really means the world to me. Thank you. And I said this off screen, and I'll say it on screen. I'm so glad that you're a woman of faith, just like I am a woman of faith. And I'm not gonna preach, but to God I give all the glory. The fact that we can think and move, the fact that we're on this platform,
Yeah.
is such a blessing. And I looked at some of your books, and I looked at some of the titles, and I was like, wow, this is an awesome, I know these are all, they're awesome titles. So I know that they're awesome books. So listening audience, this is a good time for you to go ahead and go on Amazon and like get these books for your children, get these books for your nieces, your nephews,
Yes.
because the subject matter that you share in your books, I think, is very pertinent. Will you tell me what inspired you to write the books, your latest book especially?
Oh, absolutely. So I'll just go in the role. Like I say, they're like my babies, and I love them all the same. But My first book is a poetry book. It's called Words Unspoken, Volume One, Deeper Than Eyes Can See. And because I'm a poet, and like a lot of poets, even people that may not be poets, but they love to write poetry, I had a lot of poems that I had written over the years. Some were like about love and whenever something was going on in the world, I would write. And I'm kind of an introverted person by nature, so writing is like a expression for me. So I would write, and I came up. I had like over 100 and something poems, and I
Wow.
was like, man, what if I made a book? And I know it was God that told me to just put it together, make a book. So then I had to start trimming down and coming up with the best ones that I wanted to feature. And also at the time, it was the 25th year of Oprah Winfrey. She was leaving her talk show. So I wrote a poem for her in the book.
Oh,
Michael Jackson had passed away. I did a homage to him. And oddly enough, I was able to go by the house and give the poem to his mother, Catherine. And
that's
that was
sweet.
a whole experience.
Wow.
And then there's just some other books about leading a purpose driven life, recession proof, like getting through the recession. And so yeah, that was how my first book started, just from poetry, what I love. So then I went into the children's book, which my first book was I Don't Like Racism.
Mm,
And
I
this
love it.
book was during the pandemic. George Floyd had been brutally, murdered. And I remember a lot of my friends, they were doing the protests and, you know, they were going out there and doing all of these things. And I was like, God, I want to be involved. It really moves me. And I was like, what can I do? I didn't want to protest, but I wanted to do something to give of my gift. And so I just started writing. And because I'm a poet, uh, the children's book really came from poetry. It's a rhyming,
Um,
children's book. And I remember his daughter. She had came on screen and she said, "My daddy changed the world." And
wow.
that just sparked. I was like, what if I wrote a book about the perspective of a young African American girl who witnesses police brutality and witnesses racism like his daughter had,
Yes.
and going into the mind of a child and how that affects them. And I didn't see any books like that out there. I saw a lot of books about racism and, self-esteem for Black kids, but I didn't see, you know, I don't like racism or the topic specifically. So I thought maybe that's what I'm supposed to do. And I knew that was what I was supposed to do because it just started flowing. God was downloading the words. I got with an illustrator and it happened. And I put the book on Amazon, and within weeks, it became an Amazon bestseller.
Congratulations.
Thank you so
It's
much. To God be
awesome.
the glory. And I know it's because of the topic. But from that, I said, whenever something comes to me, I'm going to move on it.
Yes.
And so I did that book. And then COVID was going on. And, during the pandemic, it's like you want to stay busy, even though everything seems slow around you. It was really a time for creatives and people to come up with businesses. So then I wrote, I Don't Like COVID. And it was the same thing. How do children think about COVID and how does it affect them and their school? Wrote that book. And I started to say, wow, I love this I Don't Like. I need to
Yes.
I Don't Like series. People had asked me about that as well. And so I started to research and say, what are other topics that children deal with in school and at home? And I had a friend and she had told me about her daughter was bullied at school. And, I'm a former educator, I've taught as well. And I said, bullies, that is another topic. And so I actually launched the book in October of 2023, right around National Bully Awareness Month. And so that's my latest book. The Kindle just came out, I believe, February. And
Okay.
so yeah, I'm on the road as a children's book author and I have a series. So I'm excited.
and they're all just worthy topics. Racism, COVID, and also the bullying. They're all, like I said, just really worthy topics. And I pray that if you haven't done this already, I don't know if you have, that these will be books that will be in the libraries across the nation. To be honest with you,
Oh
that
my
the
gosh.
libraries, I
You are,
pray that you're
thank,
able to do that.
thank
Because
you are right on target. You are definitely a woman of spirit and faith because that has one thing that I've been working on doing. I had a friend, she's on the East Coast, and she's been helping me, like calling the libraries for, this is a movement. It takes a lot of work. And so
yes,
I'm just praying for, I do PR myself, but it's hard. Well, I won't say hard, but it can be challenging to you know do the PR campaign, be the creative, be the
oh
so just
yes,
having the right team of people, and I think then that's when it'll all just start to pick up. But definitely Black History Month, I love going and speaking anytime there's an awareness month like bullying. By the end of this year it's coming around again, and so I would love to be in the libraries and schools, and anybody out there who would love to be a part, I'd love to have you a part of that campaign.
I think yeah, because it's real. Those are three topics that are really needed, and the children need to have something in their hand that's going to guide them and help them. And
Mhm.
that's why I say around the nation, because I believe that racism, COVID, and also bullying is something that affects everybody around the world. You know,
Absolutely.
so not only that, I pray that the books will just be um uh redone in various languages also, so that it
Ooh,
can be something that will be that will go around the world. So educators, there's quite a few educators that actually listen to the platform. So, get in contact with Tymeka Coney and tell the librarian we need these books, in the library, your local public libraries. Let's get those books on the shelves, because you didn't have to do this. You could
mm,
have written about any other thing,
wow.
but God put it in your heart to do something to bless the children, you know
Yeah,
and I think that's worth noting, definitely, definitely. So how would the once again, will you tell us how the people, everyone that's listening, can buy the books?
definitely go on Amazon.com. You can probably type in the titles. I don't like racism. I don't like bullies. I don't like COVID-19. Or you could type in my name. It's spelled a little different, Tymeka, Tymeka Coney, like Coney Island. So Tymeka Coney, you could Google, you'll probably find the books, or go to my website, my personal website. I have all the books there. And normally I'm doing promotions like this is National Poetry Month. So I'm happy to offer promotions for the poetry book. If you get two together, you know, autographed copies. But yes, I'm
Well,
I'm everywhere.
well, I'm definitely gonna have to get. I have grandchildren, four grands,
Oh
and then
wow.
uh-huh, and I have and I'm a, like, you can't see it, but I have two bookshelves in here. So I still read quite a bit. I still buy books. I like having them in my hands,
Me
and
too.
so
Me too. Yes.
so I'm gonna have to actually ask you to. I'm gonna have to get the books and ask you to actually, sign them for my grands, and also sign the book of poetry for myself. So I'm gonna make sure that I do that. Um,
So I would
so may
love.
I ask you a couple other questions?
Absolutely. I'm here.
What's next? Where can we find you?
Huh, that's good. So we had talked about before the interview that I'm also a playwright, and I did a play, a stage production in the past about menopause, and it was well received. We did 6 shows here in Inglewood, California, and I have another big goal and dream for God to bless, and I want to take menopause on the road. I
Oh
want to do
wow.
a tour, and it has been said that it should be on Broadway. So that's next. Menopause Awareness Month is in September. So I plan on bringing the play back to stage here in Los Angeles, and then just kind of see where it could go. And it's so funny because since that play, like I've been watching talk shows and I've seen like Tamron Hall, Oprah, Niecy Nash, a lot of people have been talking about menopause. And so it's funny when I wrote it, I hadn't been through menopause and I still
Oh,
haven't, but I have a lot of friends
well, you're
that,
speaking to someone that's going through it right now. Look at this.
yes.
I'm
And
going through it right now.
look
And
at that.
oh, I'm telling you,
Got her fan. That is so cute. Yeah, so
oh,
and as I was on the menopause journey, it was so fascinating because they have people that go through perimenopause, which can start from like 35 and up. A lot of people think, oh, it's an older lady's thing, but it's really not. It could be any age from 30s on up. But what I love about it, I don't know if you're familiar with the vagina monologues or for colored girls
yes, I
who have
am.
suicide when the rainbow is enough. This was inspired by those
Oh,
productions because it's like 7 to 9 ladies. They represent different colors and they're all telling their experience of menopause. Some of them, like one of them, her libido kicked up and she was able to have, more relations with her mate. One is like going through a depression, and it's just the many colors and feelings of how menopause, makes ladies feel. So there's something for everybody, even how to treat your family member when they're going through menopause.
okay. This is something that this is a play that I need to bring my husband to for
Yeah,
sure. When
a
and
lot.
we will drive or we will fly to Los Angeles for this play for sure.
Oh, thank you.
Definitely.
And let me tell you, the last time a lot of the men really appreciated, you could tell they had a lot to say. So, yes.
I'm going to tell you something that's personal, but it's okay because
Okay.
I often share things
Family
on the show.
now.
Well, yeah, but it's going to be a good. It's not going to be bad. It'll be good.
Okay.
My there's a commercial that comes on quite often now, and they are advertising a specific menopause pill, right?
Oh,
So my husband on the TV. So my husband, this is about last month or sometime. My husband said, "Tanya, get a pen and a paper, write it down.
oh,
Um, you need to get that right there. You need to go ahead and get it." And then my daughter-in-law was sitting there. She said, "Oh, Dad, you shouldn't have said that to Mom. You shouldn't have said that to Mom." But menopause is real, you
yeah.
know. And I think that your play is, like I said, you really, you know what? You really do help people with what you're doing,
Wow.
not just with children, but also with, I believe, with the adults also, you know. So I'm glad that you are I'm glad that you're doing this
Yeah.
because there's been
And
a lot of misconceptions surrounding menopause. And
that's, wow.
you,
Yeah.
you really are helping people.
Yeah, you're just giving me a lot of aha moments, because when you're a creative, sometimes you just create. You don't really think about how the bigger picture that it really is beyond you. And today I'm full because a lot of the things that you're sharing is like, I didn't think about that, but essentially I am helping people. And I
Yes.
I actually love helping people. And one of the quotes that I've said is our gifts are God's gift to us. But what we do
Yes.
with those gifts are our gifts to him. And I will also
Yes.
add to others. And so I'm happy that I can share my creative gifts to bless others. And, a lot of people think, even like when you talk about ministry, and, again, we won't go to church today on Tuesday, but it can be outside of the four walls.
That's right.
It doesn't have to be inside of the church. Sometimes we have to reach the unchurched. And so I'm happy to bring awareness and messages to people. Yeah. And a lot of my plays, I've talked about menopause, domestic violence, suicide, so many topics that a lot of people don't touch. And now racism, bullying.
Yes.
So I'm happy that I can entertain, but also educate and empower. Those are my three
Yes.
pillars.
Oh,
Yes.
yes. Yes. So thank you so much, Tymeka, for being on this podcast today, this TV show today, on the Mucho Dinero TV show. And you are a celebrity guest for
Thank you.
sure. And you've inspired me. You've been such a blessing to me. And I know that the listening audience are being blessed by you also. Are there any words that you would like to share that that will inspire others?
Absolutely. As you were talking, all I could think about is like mucho dinero, and I think it's important that we think about uh, the wealthy, and in the Bible, like a lot of people say, oh, we shouldn't talk about having money and all that stuff. And sometimes they say money is the root of all evil, but they missed it. The Bible says the love of money is the root of all evil, but it does not speak to having money being evil. In fact, he gives us the power to get wealth.
Yes.
And so I just employ everyone to use your own power to get your wealth and to
Yeah.
start thinking about several streams of income. And I think one thing that COVID taught us, when a lot of people lost jobs and everything, they started to create. And it's okay if you have a 9 to 5, but even if you don't, start thinking about how can I have other streams of income, whether you decide to become an entrepreneur or if you decide to continue your 9 to 5, you can do, what are your hobbies? What are things that you love? What do you feel your purpose to do? And that's how these several streams of income start to come. And residual incomes like books, that's residual income. Music, even there have been people that do the network marketing. That's another residual income. And so I just think it's important. The wealthy have several streams. Back in the day, it would just be go to 9 to 5 and retire. But now
Mm-mm.
there's so many things you can do. You can invest in stocks and Bitcoin and all of these things. So today, because I'm on the Mucho Dinero show, I think it's important that I talk about money and, thinking wealth and thinking legacy and building the future for not just us, but beyond us. And one thing that I know, there's a scripture in the Bible that talks about Matthew 25, and it's the talents. And I didn't know, when we break down talent, that means dinero. And so really each talent that we have is supposed to give us money and dinero and to live beyond. That's our legacy. So I just want to share with everyone, think about your talents and start to use that, and you will see how money will be birthed from that. And it doesn't have to be a creative talent. I'm a creative and I love it, and I know that that is my gift. But some people have the gift of help, the
Yes.
gift of cleaning, the gift of business, the gift of finance, whatever it is. And we are all
Right.
here to help each other with those things. So that's what it's all about. And I'm so happy to be here and to have met you. And I know we're going to align our gifts
Yes,
and,
we are.
have
Yes.
more mucho dinero.
Dinero. Yes.
I love this. I love this title, and I'm so glad that you took your leap of faith with your gift to do a podcast and to title it Mucho Dinero. And I know I'm being interviewed, but I'd love to know what made you come up with that title.
Oh wow. I wanted to I wanted something that was different. And I love the play on words also, and I love the Spanish language. Period. I love. Um, I'm blessed to have a daughter-in-law that's whose parents and she also they're from Guatemala and Honduras. Her mother and father. So even though they look like us, Spanish is their first language, and
Wow.
I know that I have been called by God to lead people to their wealthy place.
I love it.
So my desire is to make sure that people um that they have the resources that they need in order to operate whatever God has called them to do, no matter what. And anytime I get a chance to bless somebody, so that's how I came up with that title, Mucho Dinero, because it would have been much money, but then that doesn't sound like Mucho Dinero. So
Mucho. It's just like,
Mucho
whew,
is like, yes.
more. Yes. I love it.
So I wanted to really like bring, I don't know, it was catchy to me. And I believe it or not, this show was really birthed out of COVID. I didn't do any of this before COVID. I had just gotten a job that I really wanted right before COVID, but then I couldn't go back into education because all the schools were closed.
Mm,
And
mhm.
then I had been working as a nonprofit and also a business consultant for almost a decade, but I only did it like part time. And then my husband, during COVID, he said, "What would happen, Tanya, if you went ahead and just did this full time?"
Wow.
And I started doing it full time. And then I'm not full time now. I'm part time, back down to part time. But you sharing the talents and with us today is so inspiring to me because a lot of people don't know this, but I'm taking a leap of faith and doing a couple of other new things that I've
Oh,
never done before. And it's unfamiliar territory, but I'm still going to do it because one of my goals is to leave a legacy for my children's children. So I want to thank you also for asking the question about Mucho Dinero and also inspiring us. And I look forward to doing collaborations and working with you also in the future. I can already see it.
thank
Um, I
you.
can already see it. And listening audience, this has been such an awesome taping today, recording today. Tymeka Coney has been on here. She's a producer. She's an author. She wears many hats, which she should, because it's all about different streamlines of income coming in from money, just coming in from all different directions. And so be sure to buy the books for yourself, buy the books for your grandchildren, buy the books for your children. Let's support her. Let's continue to pray for her. Educators, get those books in your libraries. And to Mika, is there anything else you would like to say before we end today?
Yeah. No, I'm just so full and I'm just so like appreciative of this time to share. And yeah, I would just say buy the books, keep in touch with me on the website. There you'll find, what I'm up to and some of the things that I've done, tamikaconey.com, or you can always Google. It's funny to say Google, but yeah, and get the books and share, like Dr. Tanya has said. And also, I have consultation services. The name of my production company is called Meek Entertainment and PR. So I'm available if anybody needs any assistance with production for film, television, if you're planning an event, just anything creative, I could probably help you with it or anything entertainment related. I thank God that I know that I'm on purpose because I
Yes,
love what I do. And I started
yes.
out doing it as a child for like no dinero, for no money.
Oh, wow.
And as I got older, I realized, okay, we've got to go from just doing it as a gift. This is like the business that I'm in is show business, and you can't
Yes.
have one without the other, the show and the business.
Yes,
Right. And so I'm originally from Texas. That's where I did all of the show and I learned and I created. But when I moved to Los Angeles 20 plus years ago, I learned the business. And so I'm happy that I can walk in my gift and enjoy what I do, but also, make some dinero along the
that's
way.
right. Mucho dinero, Tamika. Mucho.
Yeah. And so that's the word of the day for me. And that's probably the word of the month and the rest of the year. I'm going to be thinking
Yes,
about this moment in time. And I think there's enough dinero out there for everybody.
there really is. It really is.
Thank you so much for having me. And I'm so glad that I said yes. And that's the other thing we have to do is just say yes. And you
Right.
talked about saying yes to things. Even sometimes we have to do it afraid, but
Yes.
we walk by faith and not by sight. And so
Yes.
I would just tell people, even if you feel like you're going through something right now or you have a difficult circumstance or situation, don't focus on that. Walk by your faith, what you know. And I like to say, like, there's a vision, when you see visions in your head or something that comes to you, move on that. And that's what I've always done. I'll have a vision and I'll pray, and then the provision comes. And that's how you
Yes.
know. Like when I started the books, I had a vision, but guess what happened? I started moving, then the illustrator came, then
Yes.
all of these other things, the money came, and
Yes.
that's how it is. It may seem like, oh yeah, this is yeah, but I'm serious. I'm telling
Yes,
you that I've done. And you can probably say the same thing.
I
And
can. I
yeah,
can. Yes.
and the
Go
right
ahead.
people will come. Sometimes the wrong people will leave, but the right people will come
Will come.
with that vision. And
I
that's
agree with you. I think about my first book. I had a dream about it, and I saw it was a 8.5 by 11 book. And in the dream I saw 7 days to spiritual awareness. This was over 20
wow,
years ago. And I saw the front cover of it. And
wow.
I remember it flipping in the wind, and at that time it was self-published. I didn't know anything about publishing books at all. But I do agree with you, Tymeka. We do have to, once we get the vision, take everything we have. And Tymeka, you told us to just go ahead and go forward in it. And as we go, God sends a provision. He'll send the right people. And you also said he sends the money. I agree with you on that. He will
Yes,
send the resources. I really do believe that.
he does. And that's how I've always known, like, because, when I was a little younger, I always be like, I don't want to say this, but sometimes when you have a lot of different things you could do, you feel like it's a blessing and a curse. And you're like, what do I do now? And when do I do? But it's like you just go with the flow and he
Yes.
will move you in that direction of where you should go. Like sometimes I'm writing poetry, I write songs too. And it's like, do I write my song now and try to get that out there? Or do I do my poetry? Do I do a play or movie? It can be like, oh my God. But you
Yes.
have to go with the flow. Like when the book came, it was the right time because that had happened to George Floyd. And so it's like you just go with the flow. And I even tell people when you're writing, don't worry about the format. Don't worry, just flow from whatever
Yes.
downloading, if it's in your mind and your heart and everything else, it's going to come together.
This
And
is, I'm telling you, these are some gems you dropped on us today, Tymeka, for sure. And I
yeah,
receive it, and I know my listening audience receives it also. Remember, get the books, stay connected to Tymeka Coney. I'm gonna come, as long as God gives me the ability. I'll be in Los Angeles for your stage plays. My
thank you.
husband and I absolutely love going to plays.
Love it.
We've been doing it for over 20 something years. But
Really?
yes,
Wow.
we came to we drove to LA to see New Jack City.
Wow. I was
We
there.
drove to
Yeah. I was at that.
Yep,
It was
yep,
amazing.
we
And
sure did.
Tyler Perry, too, his story going from 30 people showing up at his first play to look at him now. He's a multi-millionaire, multi-hyphenate. I'm very inspired by his journey as well.
Oh yeah, don't give up, because I'm telling you, it doesn't take but a second. You know what? If there's anything that's in between a second, well, God just does it. I don't know if there's time between the 2 seconds, but
Ooh,
it's just like that. It happens like that, a twinkling in an eye.
yes.
So that's why I'm going to get all of my books signed right now,
Okay.
because
Yeah.
I might have to get on your calendar way, way out.
I
you know,
received it. I received it.
yes, all of them signed right now. Nothing happens by chance. I had said that to you earlier. We were supposed to meet at this time. You were supposed to encourage us. I know you came for my listening audience, but really you're here for me also.
Yes.
So,
And I've
I
been
needed you.
encouraged too today by some of the things that you've reminded me of. So thank you. Yes.
Thank you too. Thank you too. All right. So listening audience, let's connect with Tymeka Coney. She's the real deal. Let's support her. When menopause come back out, my husband and I will be happy to meet you in Los Angeles. Let's pack this play out. I'm excited about it. I'm going to make sure that now one thing I do is I promote on purpose. You know that, Tymeka.
Okay.
I will definitely promote your play for sure. Promote everything, to be honest with you. And
Okay.
I once again thank you for being here, and God bless you. God bless everything that you do. And listening audience, stay connected. My name is Dr. Tanya. I'm the host and the producer of the Mucho Dinero TV show. And
Yeah.
I'm so happy that our celebrity guest, Miss Tymeka Coney, is on here today and encouraging us to earn our Mucho Dineros from different directions, and also to share her gifts.
Thank you so much. Have a great day. It has been a pleasure, and we will be in touch very soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye now.
Bye.